I would ask everyone to stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight's invocation is being offered by Reverend Raymond Bowman, pastor of the Spruce Street Baptist Church. He is the guest of Council Member Edith Langster.
Shall we pray? All-powerful and ever-living God, we have come to understand that you are so sweet, we can taste you in an apple, so fragrant we can smell you in a rose, but yet so flexible we can feel you with our heart and know you with our mind. For you are as close to creation as you are to judgment. You're louder than sound, swifter than speed, older than age, and better than good. We have lived long enough to know that whatever can be done, you can do. Whatever can be known, you already know. The scriptures teach us that in you lie all wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So when we are weak, we can lean on you for strength. When we are ignorant, you will teach us. When we have fallen, you will lift us. And where we have wandered in error, you will lead us back to truth. So tonight we pause and praise you for your presence and action in the world and in this Metropolitan Council. Our prayer tonight is that you will help this council to pass laws that will pull down the mountains and uplift the valleys and make the crooked road straight, that will help all people to live with dignity and not disgrace, laws where the weak are protected and none go hungry or poor, laws where justice run down like water and righteousness as a mighty flowing stream. We ask tonight that you will watch over our city with your peace, your power, and your protection. Bless now every council member as well as their family. In your name I pray this prayer. Amen.
Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Without objection, we'll suspend the calling of the roll and ask the clerk to record the names of the members present throughout the meeting. Is there a motion for the adoption of our minutes from October the 2nd? We have a motion and a second. If there is no objection, the minutes will stand approved as written. Madam Clerk, are there any messages from the mayor?
There are no messages from the mayor.
At this point on our agenda, we received notification of this. I will ask if there are any nominations for the Health and Educational Facilities Board. Councilmember McGuire.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to nominate Mr. Walker Batts, please.
Thank you. Councilmember Todd.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to nominate Susan Tenney.
Thank you, Councilman. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none. Next on our agenda is presentations. I'll recognize Councilmember Tigert.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. And some presentations are important enough. I'll ask Mr. Poyle and Coach Trotz to come forward. As I said, some presentations are important enough you need to be in character. So I would invite any of our hockey fans to come forward also. But we're honoring tonight two gentlemen, and I emphasize the word gentlemen, that have meant so much to our city. Coach Barry Trotz has carried out his duties with diligence, character, and respect of his players, administration, and the fans of Nashville. Coach Trotz came to the Predators in 1997 as the first coach in franchise history and now has become the second most tenured active coach with the same team in the National Hockey League. Whereas Predators head coach Barry Trotz recorded his 500th career win on March 30th, 2012 with a 4-1 win over the blank Detroit Red Wings. Coach Trotz became the 17th man to ever coach an NHL team to 500 victories and only the 5th coach in NHL history to win 500 games with one team, earning a playoff spot in 7 of the 8 years, the last 8 seasons, one of 3 teams to have won 40 games in the last 7 seasons, finalist for NHL Coach of the Year honors in each of the past 2 seasons, and in very active in many local charities, including My Friend's House, Best Buddies, and Peterson's Foundation for Parkinson's. Secondly, joining Coach Trotz tonight is David Poyle. Where the on-ice success of the Predators is the responsibility of the general manager to assemble and lead a team of management, coaches, scouts, and administrators to identify, draft, develop, and motivate an exceptional group of experienced and young players, became the first general manager of the franchise, also in 1997, helping lead the Predators to the Stanley Cup playoffs in 7 of the last 8 seasons. He is the first general manager in NHL history to guide 2 separate teams to at least 500 wins, posting 594 wins with the Washington Capitals in 15 seasons. And he moved into 2nd place on the all-time general manager list with 2,245 games. He has been a finalist for the NHL General Manager of the Year in each of the past 2 seasons and was named the NHL Executive of the Year in 2006 and 7. He also served as Associate General Manager of the 2010 U.S. Olympic team and helping our country earn the silver medal at the Vancouver Olympics. Tonight we should be out there helping the team beat the Colorado Avalanche, but unfortunately circumstances have led them here tonight, which is our privilege and honor and the fans of Nashville's disappointment. But please join me in welcoming and thanking for their contributions to the city of Nashville, Coach Barry Trotz and General Manager David Poyle.
Wow. Just want to thank, obviously, the City of Nashville and all the council members for the recognition. I want to thank the council members for allowing us to have a great facility to play in. I came here in '97, and I've just seen the city grow, especially downtown, and I want to thank our fans who fill that building every night, and hopefully we'll be back playing very shortly, so thank you.
I echo the same thing that Barry says. It's my first time a chance to be here, and what you've done for our franchise and your support that you've given us through the years, it's great. Never been to Nashville before. I got here 15 years ago, and this has been a fabulous city. It's growing both on and off the ice, as I like to say, and it's stuff like this that makes it worthwhile. So thanks a lot for doing your part, and hopefully we'll have hockey real soon. Thank you. Very nice. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
We're now at the point on our agenda for the election of the juvenile court judge. Each of the nominees will have 5 minutes to make a presentation. First is Ms. Calloway.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. My name is Marietta Shipley. Previously, I was a judge in this beautiful renovated courthouse. I was there for 16 years. And I came to know Sheila Calloway as a colleague and friend. I support her because she is a passionate supporter of children, a leader, a proven innovator, and a tough yet compassionate judge. I am also supported in this opinion by the Nashville Bar Association that gave her the most highly recommended votes, and the Napier-Luby Bar Association, which gave her 80% of their highly recommended votes. Sheila Calloway, as a magistrate, has been at home anywhere in this community, whether she's at Tex Thomas's Jefferson Street Church, or as a professor at Vanderbilt Law School, or anywhere in between. I am honored to place Sheila Calloway's name into nomination tonight as the juvenile judge for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Shipley. Ladies and gentlemen of the council, when people think about juvenile court, they usually think about what they see in the news, children committing serious crimes. But juvenile court is about so much more than that. It's about our children and our families. The judge's role must include healing families and making positive changes in the lives of our children. And I am the ideal candidate for that job. First, as a 1994 graduate of Vanderbilt Law School, I've been involved in the justice system for over 18 years. I have worked exclusively in the juvenile court system since 1998, first as a public defender, then as a magistrate appointed by Judge Green in 2004. As a magistrate, I have presided over every type of case in juvenile court. Not only do I have the experience, but I am also well suited for the position because of my energy, my enthusiasm, and my ability to think outside of the box. I will leave things that are working in place, but I will creatively fix things that are broken. I will place more effort on proactive intervention. I will involve community partners such as churches, civic and nonprofit youth organizations, the first contact that a child comes into our system. If a child who is starting down the wrong road has someone who can mentor them and give them hope, then we can reduce the amount of serious crimes on the back end. As the former lead judge of Davidson County Model Court of the Nashville Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges, I have studied and I have learned to implement best practice programs such as early intervention efforts in our court system. I will use this experience to bring the Davidson County Juvenile Court to cutting edge of innovation in the way we administer our court. As you make this decision today, I urge you to put politics aside and base your decision on the person who has the best vision and plan for healing our children and the families of Davidson County who have experienced so much pain and chaos in their lives. I am that best candidate because I have the experience, the vision, the energy, the temperament, and most importantly, because this is my passion and this is my calling. I am grateful today for my loving and supportive family. My parents, my husband, my son are here today with me. I'm also grateful for my extended family, my church family, my friends, my supporters, many of who are here with me today. But my question is, where would I be if I didn't have such a strong support system? As juvenile court judge, I want to make sure that each child in Davidson County has the same type of supportive family that I have been blessed with. I thank you for your time, and I thank you for your vote. Thank you.
Next is Ms. Sophia Crawford.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Vice Mayor and fellow council members, it is with great pleasure that I nominate Sophia Crawford as the next juvenile court judge of Davidson County, Tennessee. Sophia has proven to be very involved in her community and has served as the juvenile court for over 10 years in her role as juvenile court magistrate. This position requires someone with administrative as well as judicial skills, and Sophia has the experience it takes in both areas. She has respect in her community, has presided over every area in the court, and has proven to be a person of high morals. She has a reputation for being fair but firm, and someone with a strong passion for helping children and families, while also protecting the community. She is also my friend. I would respectfully request that you join me in voting for Sophia as the next juvenile court judge. Thank you. Sophia.
Thank you. Vice Mayor, council members, I would like, if I may, to use a little bit of my time having someone else speak, if that's possible. Would the Albrants step forward, please? And Pastor? Before they speak, I would like to just take this opportunity to thank every one of you all for the time that you have given to me and my colleagues. And I thank my colleagues, Magistrate Lewis, Magistrate Callaway. I think that we have all worked together very well through this process. I want to thank Juvenile Court. All of the employees have worked very well through this whole process, but I know we've driven you all crazy, and I really appreciate all of your patience with us, and thank Judge Green for the role model that she has been for me. And having said that, I think you have seen my resume. You've seen all the letters that I've inundated you all with, so I won't bore you with repeating any of that, but I would like to defer to several people that would like to speak on my behalf.
Good evening. My name is Martina Albrandt. My husband Jason and I are foster parents with Davidson County DCS, and we were able to just adopt our little daughter a few months ago, Aliana. She's 15 months old now. Last fall, we found ourselves in Sophia Crawford's courtroom. We had been in the middle of a struggle with DCS on Aliana's adoption placement. They were trying to move her to another woman that there was no family connection with, and she had never met Aliana, and we didn't feel it was right to move her again to have that second loss. And Sophia Crawford acted with compassion and conviction. I truly believe she did what was in Aliana's best interest. Policies are in place for a reason, and they're good, but each case needs careful consideration. Each child is different. Each case is different, and I can't imagine the pressure a judge has to make those decisions every day. I truly believe that she's someone who would act in protection over the children of Davidson County and do a great job as judge. Thank you.
My name is Daniel Bell, and I live in Chris Harmon's district. I've lived in Nashville for more than 20 years, been a property owner for quite some time, and have served as a pastor here in the city, 17 of those years, of which I was a youth pastor and was all too familiar with juvenile court to try to intervene and serve young people who live here. What makes Sophia so extraordinary to me is that she is, in her volunteer time, in her free time, she gives in the church to work with young people. So I love that she is a civil, responsible person serving in the court, but that in her own free time she would give that to care for young people. Oftentimes we try to pull on her, and she's so careful to help guide us and walk with us, but she's also very much a servant to give us her time. Recently we had some parents end up in her court, and I was there to serve as a kind of a witness, and she had to explain to all parties concerned that I was friends with her, and that the gentleman in this case attended her church, and there was no objection. And I think that speaks very highly of her professional performance and people's respect for her, and knowing that she is a fair and responsible person. So I do hope that you will cast your vote for her. We're a big fan of hers, and you should be as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Mr. Carlton Lewis.
Okay. My name is Alicia Creighton Ray, and this is my husband, and these are my two grandchildren. I didn't prepare an eloquent speech. I can only tell you that we didn't have any experience with the legal or judicial system. 2 years ago, our family had a tragedy. Our daughter got off the beaten path. And you can raise your kids and teach them the way to go, but once they're grown, you don't have any choice in making their decisions. And we didn't know which way to go. We were lost. There were 5 children altogether, and these 2 were the ones that we had. My granddaughter was already in the second grade and could not read. My grandson, in 8 years, had lived in 27 different places. When you go to court, if you've never been there, the only thing you can hope is that someone hears your story. And the person that you're up against, whether it's your child or another family member, they fight just as hard as you do for whatever reasons. And I had to trust Magistrate Carlton Lewis to hear me, not just my words, but my husband and our family and our friends to hear our heart and to look at our children and see that they were lost. And I didn't know if I could trust him. You see so much on TV, you hear so many bad things, and all you can do is pray and put your trust in God. I can tell you this, he was honest, he was fair. I didn't always like him, didn't always understand him, but I thank God for him. And as you can see, they are perfect attendance and honor roll. So I nominate Magistrate Carlton Lewis because I know what type of person he is. And he put our family back together.
Madam Vice Mayor, members of the Metropolitan Council, thank you so much for the time, effort, and energy that you have given to us as we have approached you, asking for your support and your vote as the next juvenile court judge. I don't mind telling you all that I am somewhat embarrassed at times to brag about myself. I have forwarded to each of you my resume with many accomplishments, but I don't want to talk about those accomplishments that sometimes embarrass me. What I do want to talk about proudly is the fact that I have proposed to each of you a set of initiatives that will address the delinquency, dependency, neglect, and abuse issues that we are seeing here in Davidson County. I am proud to have been able to share with you my vision, and along with my vision, that strategic plan that has been carried out in several other jurisdictions across the country, including Shelby County here in Tennessee, a strategic plan that has insisted upon early intervention for the prevention of young people coming into the custody of the Department of Children's Services and even coming into contact with the court. I have proposed a strategic plan that involves intensive counseling and long-term mentoring for young people who are in need of those services. In the 14 years that I have served as a magistrate at juvenile court, I have had an opportunity to handle every type of case that comes before the jurisdiction of the court. Attached to my resume and attached to my application for this position was a letter of nomination from retired juvenile court judge Richard Jenkins. And you've heard from Ms. Alicia Ray. I've had the wonderful opportunity to speak with Judge Jenkins and gain insight from him as to his experiences with the court. You have had an opportunity to hear Ms. Alicia Ray and how the court has impacted her family. The things that are required to be a successful juvenile court judge, I offer. Experience, passion for the job, a commitment for the job. Most importantly, and you heard Alicia say that she didn't always like me, didn't always like my decisions, but I think she understands that I have a judicial temperament that is necessary to serve as juvenile court judge. I ask for your support and your vote tonight.
Thank you. Okay, this will be a machine vote. If you are voting for Callaway, you will use your green button. If you're voting for Crawford, your red button, and Lewis is your yellow button. Callaway green, Crawford red, Lewis yellow. Madam Clerk, will you close the machine and tally the vote?
Callaway 9, Crawford 18, Lewis 11.
Runoff. Okay, we are going to have a runoff. May I see that, please? The runoff will be between Crawford and Lewis. On this vote, Crawford will be green, Lewis will be red. Crawford will be green, Lewis will be red. Madam Clerk, will you close the machine and tally the vote?
Crawford 25, Lewis 13.
Congratulations, Ms. Crawford. We're now at the point on our agenda for elections and confirmations. Councilmember Anthony Davis.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Just a few to run through this evening. First, to the Community Education Commission. The committee voted to reappoint Reverend Sonny Dixon by a vote of 7-4-0 against, and I move his approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes.
To the Sexually Oriented Business Licensing Board, we had a reappointment of Mr. Johnny Crumby and a first-time appointment of Mr. Cullen Ernest, both by a vote of 8-4-0 against, and I move their approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes.
And for the Transportation Licensing Commission, we had a reappointment of Ms. Rhonda Marco, the reappointment of Mr. Tom Turner. Both were 8-4-0 against, and I move their approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes.
Finally, also for the Transportation Licensing Commission, the reappointment of Mr. Sam Patel. The committee recommended to defer for one meeting, 8-4-0 against, and I move deferral.
We have a motion and a second on the deferral. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. The motion to defer passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Sonny Dixon, Johnny Crumby, Cullen Ernest, Rhonda Marco, and Tom Turner. On behalf of the Metropolitan Council, thank you for your willingness to serve our city, and for many of you for willingness to do it again. Thank you very much. Council Member Harmon, did you wish to be recognized?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I would like to welcome the members of Boy Scout Troop 249. They're in the gallery behind us. They're here tonight for their citizenship in the community badge, and I would ask that you please make them welcome.
Thank you and welcome. We're now at our consent agenda. Let me find the rest of this. What? I've lost part of my papers. Nope, I got it. They got stapled. On the consent agenda tonight, we have RS 2012-448 through RS 2012-458. I'll read through them, and then you can tell me if there's any that need to be pulled from the consent agenda. RS 2012-448 appropriates 2011-2012 and 2012-2013 Community Development Block Grant funds for neighborhood improvement projects. RS 2012-449 approves an application for a grant from the Bloomberg Philanthropies to the Metro government to sponsor workforce wellness initiatives to reduce health and injury on duty cost. 450 approves an annual grant from the Tennessee Arts Commission to the Metro Arts Commission for general support to well-established Tennessee nonprofit arts organizations. 451 approves a third amendment to a grant from the Tennessee Board of Probation and Parole to the state trial courts to fund the Davidson County Community Corrections Program. 452 approves an agreement between Vanderbilt University and the Metro Board of Health to participate as a member site in the tuberculosis studies. 453 approves the seventh amendment to a grant from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency to the Metro Board of Health to achieve established ambient air quality standards. 454 approves an agreement between the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Mayor's Office of Emergency Management for access to integrated public alert and warning systems. 455 approves a grant from the Tennessee Arts Commission to the Metro Board of Parks and Recreation to provide 12 big band dances in Centennial Park. 456 approves an application for a grant from the Tennessee State Library and Archives to the Nashville Public Library to purchase e-readers and iPads and associated materials for 2 pilot programs. 457 authorizes 4T's LLC, DBA Jimmy John's Gourmet Sandwiches to construct and install an aerial encroachment at 424 Church Street. 458 approves the election of certain notaries public for Davidson County. Are there any of these that need to be pulled from the consent agenda? Seeing none, we will now have the committee reports. Councilmember Matthews.
Budget and Finance approved all bills on consent agenda, 11-4, 0 against, with the exception of 2012-449, which was approved 10-4, 0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Scott Davis.
Federal grants voted 7-4, 0 against.
On 448, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Weiner.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. On RS 2012-452 and 453, health hospitals voted both 6-4, 0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Gilmore.
Okay, on 2012-455, Parks, Library, Recreation, and Public Entertainment Facility Committee voted 5-4 and 0 against.
Both 455 and 456?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Claiborne.
Planning, Zoning, Historic Committee voted 10-4, 0 against to approve 2012-457.
Thank you. Councilmember Bennett.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Safety voted on 454, 7-4, 0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Potts.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Works voted to approve RS 2012-457, 8-4, 0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Anthony Davis.
Thank you. Rules voted for 458, 7-4, 0 against, and move approval of the consent agenda.
We have a motion. Second. We have a second. All in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. We have some late resolution, or a late resolution. It approves an amendment to a grant agreement between the State Department of Transportation and Metro government for funding for roadscape improvements in the Hillsboro Village area. Councilmember Matthews.
The late file resolution? Yes. The committee report. Are there any other committees besides Budget and Finance?
Councilmember Potts.
Public Works voted to approve 8-4, 0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Matthews.
Budget and Finance approved 11-4, 0 against, and I'd like to move approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. We're now at bills on introduction and first reading. Are there any of those that need to be pulled? Seeing none, is there a motion for their approval? Have a motion and a second. All in favor of bills on introduction and first reading, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. We're now at bills on second reading. First is BL 2012-241, amends the Metro Code to require the annual contract for services between Metro government and the Nashville Area Chamber of Commerce for the Partnership 2020 Economic Development Program to be approved by a resolution of council. Councilmember Dominy.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The committee reports.
Councilmember Matthews.
Budget and Finance voted to defer 11-4, 0 against.
Councilmember Dominy.
And I ask for a 2-meeting deferral and a re-referral to the Budget and Finance Committee.
We have a motion for a 2-meeting referral and a re-referral to the Budget and Finance Committee, and we had a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2012-262 amends the Metro Code pertaining to honorary street signs. Councilmember Matthews.
Committee reports.
Councilmember Potts.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Public Works voted to approve 7-4, 0 against, 1 no vote.
Thank you. Councilmember Matthews.
I'd like to move approval.
We have a motion and a second.
Well, there's amendment. Do I need to move the amendment?
Yes, please.
I'd like to move the amendment.
We have a motion and a second on the amendment. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The amendment passes. Councilmember?
I'd like to move as amended. Approval. Thank you.
We have a motion and a second for approval as amended. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2012-265 names the bridge on Georgia Avenue over Richland Creek in honor and memory of Audrey Baker. Councilmember Tiger.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Claiborne.
Planning, Zoning, Historic voted 10-0 to approve.
Councilmember Potts.
Public Works voted to approve 8-4, 0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Tiger.
I would move approval with a brief explanation.
Have a motion and a second. Councilman.
Thank you. Council members, fellow council members, one of the most gratifying acts that we can perform as a body is honoring a special person in our city. Several weeks ago, we had the privilege of honoring Chief Casey with the naming of the West Police Precinct. And I will confess to you, I didn't listen to many of the words there. I spent most of my time looking at Chief Casey's face, because having grown up in Nashville and having been a former basketball official, I felt a lot of ties to Chief Casey. And in speaking with some of his friends and family after that action was more gratifying to him than most anything else that he had done in his life. And it was greatly appreciated. I call your attention to the plaque in front of us naming the David Scobie Council Chamber. This body has the unique opportunity to place the name on certain items in this city by charter, and I'm proud to sponsor this resolution or this ordinance tonight, starting the process of a special lady who for over 4 years was a constant fixture in this body, sitting there on the front row. You second-term council members will remember Audrey for her tireless dedication to this body and to the members of this council, and her willingness to offer support and lend a helping hand or a cheerful word when we need it uplifting. And this idea was not mine, but it was brought to me by a young man, a freshman, a friend of the family, who sent me an email back in May, who explains that Audrey Baker was a friend and that Buddy was his councilman, and that he felt especially close to Ms. Baker. And one sentence there just really strikes home: I am still having trouble grieving her passing. And I think many of us feel that way, the support that she offered not only Councilman Baker, but the city and this body. So I'm honored to sponsor this, and I appreciate the consideration. One final comment. Mr. Cooper will be preparing for next meeting a resolution accepting a donation, because there were certain people there that apparently were concerned that Metro government would not be able to afford the $361.42 that these two signs on either side of the George Avenue Bridge cost. So Mr. Cooper will be preparing the resolution accepting a personal donation on my behalf so that this will not be a burden on the city, but be something from this heart and behalf of this body. So I appreciate your consideration, and I look forward to passage of this on third reading and having a ceremony for a special lady. Thank you.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2012-266 amends the Metro Code pertaining to health insurance benefits for members of council after they leave office. Councilmember Claiborne.
Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Banks.
Personnel Committee voted 6-0 to approve.
Councilmember Matthews.
Budget and Finance voted to approve 11-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Claiborne.
With the approval of both committees, I move for approval.
Have a motion. Is there a second? Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
No. No.
We'll need a machine vote. Pardon me? Could I clarify what, please?
The vote, aye for yes and no.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Everyone, please vote. We've still got a couple of folks that haven't voted. Madam Clerk, please close the machine and tally the vote.
19 ayes, 17 no, 1 abstention.
The motion passes on second reading. Next is BL 2012-267, authorizes the Nashville Downtown Partnership to install, construct, and maintain underground and structural encroachment for various locations for bike kiosks. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
Councilmember Claiborne.
Planning, Zoning, Historic voted to approve 10-0.
Councilmember Potts.
Public Works voted to approve 8-4-0 against.
Councilmember Gilmore.
Move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. Next is BL 2012-268, authorizes the acquisition of property located at 6950 Charlotte Pike for the Davidson Branch Equalization Facility Project. Councilmember Potts.
Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Claiborne.
Planning, Zoning, Historic voted to approve 10-0.
Councilmember Matthews.
Budget and Finance approved 11-4-0 against.
Councilmember Potts.
Public Works voted to approve 8-4-0 against, and I move approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2012-269 authorizes the acquisition of a portion of property located at 826 Comac Court for a reservoir and detention basin project. Councilmember Potts.
Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Claiborne.
Planning, Zoning, Historic voted to approve 10-0.
Councilmember Matthews.
Budget and Finance approved 11-4-0 against.
Councilmember Potts.
Public Works voted 8-4-0 against, and I move approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2012-270 accepts 868 feet of an 8-inch water main, 1,284 feet of an 8-inch water sewer main, and 2 fire hydrants on property located at Duncanwood Drive, unnumbered. Councilmember Potts.
Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Claiborne.
Planning, Zoning, Historic voted to approve 10-0.
Councilmember Matthews.
Budget and Finance approved 11-4-0 against.
Thank you. Councilmember Potts.
Public Works voted to approve 8-4, 0 against, and I move approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2012-271 abandons approximately 570 feet of existing 10 and 12-inch sewer lines and easements on property located at 1515 DeMonbrian. Councilmember Potts.
Committee reports.
Councilmember Claiborne.
Planning, Zoning, Historic voted to approve 10-0.
Councilmember Potts.
Public Works voted to approve 8-4, 0 against, and I move approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2012-272 amends the official street and alley and acceptance and maintenance map by changing the name of a portion of Powell Avenue to Old Powell Avenue. Councilmember Tenpenny.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Due to circumstances yesterday, I was not able to make committee, and I would ask for a suspension of the rules where we could.
Committee reports first.
Okay, committee reports.
Councilmember Claiborne.
Planning, Zoning, Historic voted to defer by rule.
Councilmember Harrison.
Traffic and Parking voted to pass 4-4 and 0 against.
Councilmember Potts.
Public Works voted to defer by rule.
Councilmember Tenpenny.
Yes, due to circumstances where I could be here at committee yesterday, I would ask for suspension of the rules. Thank you.
Is there any objection to a suspension of the rules? We have one objection.
Could I have a brief explanation?
There was only one objection. Okay, Councilmember Tenpenny.
Move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes.
Thank you.
BL 2012-244 changes 0.5 acres from CS to SP zoning for property located at 604 Gallatin Pike to permit automobile sales use and all uses permitted by the CS zoning district. Councilmember Pridemore.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Committee report.
Councilmember Claiborne.
Planning, Zoning, Historic voted to approve 10-0.
Councilmember Pridemore.
Move for passage.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. Without objection, we can take 247 and 248 together. Seeing none, BL 2012-247 amends 9.17 acres of the Burton Hills Commercial Plan Unit Development Overlay District located at 1 Burton Hills Boulevard, zoned R15, and proposed for SP to permit a 7-story office building, replacing a 4-story office building, and to increase the total floor area for office uses. 248 changes 9.17 acres from R15 to SP zoning for property located at 1 Burton Hills Boulevard to permit office uses. Councilmember McGuire.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Claiborne.
Planning, Zoning, Historic voted to approve both 247 and 248 by a vote of 10-4-0 against.
Councilmember McGuire.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd move approval with a brief explanation.
You got a substitute you want to move?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Actually, I'd move the substitute at this time.
We have a motion on the substitute and a second. Councilman.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And the substitute is simply putting into the language of the ordinance that it is a 4-story building or up to a 4-story building along with 3 levels of parking below ground. I do appreciate everyone's interest in this, and I think we had some great discussion in the Planning and Zoning Committee yesterday, and hopefully members' questions have been answered to this point. I think that great strides have been made by the developer in the past couple weeks from public hearing in terms of working with the neighborhood and trying to work on issues and concerns with them. I feel very good about where we're at in that process, and of course we'll continue to swing through the ball on this after our vote tonight to make sure that the developer lives up to what they say they're going to do and what I've said I'm going to do. So I would ask for your approval again this evening, and thank you very much, Vice Mayor.
We have a motion and a second on the substitute. All in favor of the substitute, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Substitute passes. Councilman.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd move approval.
We have a motion and a second on the bill as substituted. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2012-249 amends the Metro to add Nano Brewery as use permitted with conditions in the mixed-use CL and CS zoning districts. Councilmember Anthony Davis.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I believe we have a committee report, please.
Councilmember Claiborne.
Planning, Zoning, Historic voted to approve 10-0.
Councilmember Davis.
Move approval, please.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. We're now at bills on third reading. BL 2012-250 amends the Metro Code pertaining to former police department canines and horses. Councilmember Garrett.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Having been approved by all committees and on behalf of Council Lady Bennett and Council Lady Weiner and Council Member Pardue, I'd move approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2012-253 amends official street and alley acceptance and maintenance map by abandoning a portion of Cherrywood Drive right-of-way. Councilmember Blaylock.
Thank you. All committee reports are in. I move for approval.
Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no.
Thank you.
Motion passes. BL 2012-254 amends official street and alley acceptance and maintenance map by abandoning a portion of Saunders Court right-of-way. Councilmember Bennett.
Move approval, please.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Hello. Motion passes. BL 2012-255 amends the official street and alley acceptance and maintenance map by abandoning a portion of Franklin Street right-of-way. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports?
All in.
Well, I will move for approval then.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Thank you for voting. BL 2012-256 authorizes the exchange of property for use by the Department of Parks and Recreation. Councilmember Bedning.
Committee reports, please.
All in.
I move for approval, please.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Thank you.
Motion passes. BL 2012-257 amends Metro Code with respect to the modification of existing commercial and industrial facilities within the floodway of the Cumberland River. Councilmember Matthews.
With all committee reports in, I'd like to move approval.
Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2012-258 abandons 265 feet of an existing 10-inch sewer and 135 feet of an existing 12-inch sewer, and the acquisition of an easement for 307 feet of a 12-inch sewer on property located at 615 Nestor Street. Councilmember Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. With all committee reports in, I move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2012-259 abandons a Metro Water Services pumping station and the associated easement located at 801 Stoner Mill Lane. Councilmember Jernigan.
Move approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2012-260 authorizes the acquisition of utility easements for properties located at 3009 Darrington Way and Chandler Road unnumbered. Councilmember Jernigan.
I move approval with no explanation.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. BL 2012-261 deletes and or amends various sections of the Metro Code that are no longer enforced or otherwise no longer appropriate. Councilmember Evans.
All committee reports being in, I move approval.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. No. We need a machine. We need a machine vote. Everyone needs to vote, please. And is there anyone who wishes to change their vote?
You can still drag your...
Madam Clerk, please close the machines and tally the vote.
Just vote yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, 32 aye.
That was a hell of a coalition you just put together.
32 aye, 1 no, and 0 abstentions.
Thank you. Motion passes. We're now at the point of memorializing resolutions. First is RS 2012-459, requests the mayor and the Metro Nashville Public Schools to replace the entire fleet of school buses powered by diesel combustion engines with hybrid electric school buses. Councilmember Stanley.
Committee reports, please.
Councilmember Bedney.
Excuse me, Dwayne, I'm trying to speak here. Thank you.
Sorry, Councilman Bedney, I couldn't hear you.
We were hoping to have somebody from Metro Schools come into the committee to address this issue, but because there was nobody there, we decided to defer for one meeting to give them a chance to come to the next meeting.
And what was your vote?
It was 5-0 to defer.
Thank you. Councilmember Stanley.
I would like to defer this bill until the second meeting in November.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. RS 2012-460 requests the mayor and the Metro Transit Authority to designate as a top priority program the replacement of the entire fleet of public buses powered by diesel combustion engines with hybrid electric buses. Councilmember Stanley.
Committee report, please.
Councilmember Harrison.
Traffic and Parking voted 4 and 0 against to defer. One meeting.
Thank you. Councilmember Stanley.
I would make a motion to defer for 2 meetings until the second meeting in November.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. We now have 2 late filed resolutions. I believe everyone received information as to the urgency or the reason for their being late filed. The first one supports the submission of a proposal to the National Association of Counties requesting the City of Nashville be chosen to host the 2016, 2017, or 2018 annual conference and exposition. Councilmember Matthews.
Are there any committee reports on?
I am so sorry, Councilman Davis. Your name is nowhere on this, but it's yours.
Great. Well, I'll give you the report first. Rules voted 7-4-0 against, and then as a co-sponsor, I'd also like to move approval.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes. This one recognizes Belmont University and Actus team for winning the 2012 World Competition. Councilmember Allen.
Thank you. I'd like to ask for a suspension of the rules so that we can pass this tonight because the celebration is on Friday.
Seeing no objection.
I'd like to move for approval.
Have a motion.
Excuse me. And also, if I may, recognize that Joyce Searcy is here from Belmont and has worked very hard to make sure that the city recognizes this tremendous accomplishment.
And I need to get a quick committee report.
Committee report.
Yes, rules did vote 7-4-0 against to approve. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second and a committee report. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
Thank you.
Just remember that when we adjourn tonight, our next meeting will not be until November the 13th due to the election. Councilmember Tiger.
Madam Vice Mayor, I think it might be appropriate before we adjourn if we would observe a moment of silence for Emmett Edwards, our Executive Director of the Metro Sports Authority, who passed earlier this week. Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn? All in favor, please say aye.